let me ask you something. Have you ever reached a really significant career milestone, maybe even that dream role,
Hmm.
and then had this nagging feeling looking back, like, were you really ready for it?
That's a tough question. It hits home for a lot of people, I think.
It is, right? Imagine getting to the top of Mount Everest, the highest peak.
The ultimate achievement, a lifelong dream for many.
Exactly. And instead of feeling pure triumph, you hear yourself say, I regret climbing with the experiences I had.
Wow. That's quite an admission after something like that.
It really is. And that very real sentiment is what we're exploring today on the deep dive.
We're looking at what organizational psychologist Sylvia Ola calls the corporate death zone and career altitude sickness.
Yeah, we're going to unpack why climbing that corporate ladder too fast, maybe without the right skills, the right mindset, even the emotional maturity.
Why that can lead to burnout, feeling disillusioned, just completely lost, even when you're supposedly at the top.
Our mission today is really to dig into Ola's insights. She has this great YouTube video and an article, both with the same title.
The corporate death zone. The body's on the top of the career ladder. The corporate kindergarten. Pretty provocative title.
It is.
Yeah.
And we want to draw those parallels she makes between high-altitude mountaineering like Everest and our own corporate climbs.
And hopefully give you some specific examples, get you thinking about your own path.
Right. Are you really ready for that next step? Or are you maybe rushing into what Ola calls a potential death zone?
It's such a powerful way to frame it, using this physical struggle of mountaineering to talk about psychological career challenges.
It really cuts through, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that mountaineer's regret. Tell us more about that story and why it struck Sylvia Ola so deeply.
Well, Ola herself is really into mountaineering. She follows the Everest season closely. She's even prepping for a big climb herself.
Oh, interesting. So she gets the world.
Exactly. And she
Yeah.
came across this climber, Ryan. He'd summited Everest, but apparently with pretty minimal experience beforehand. Then, about a year later, he puts out this video, and that's where he drops that line. I regret climbing Mount Everest with the experiences that he had.
That's the mind-blowing statement, as Ola called it. That's the one that really resonated.
Yeah, because it forces you to ask that question about your own career. If you're, say, a VP at 29,
Yeah.
might you look back one day and think, I regret summiting that corporate ladder with the experiences I had.
Oof. That's confronting. Because you're suggesting the burnout, the imposter syndrome,
Yeah,
it might actually stem from a real lack of, well, foundational experience.
precisely. It's not just a feeling. Ola argues it's often a developmental deficit. You skipped steps.
And what happened with Ryan after Everest? Did he just stop climbing?
No, quite the opposite. Ola points out that after Everest, he started doing serious mountaineering. He realized he was missing fundamental technical skills.
Like what?
Things like, properly using crampons, fixing ropes, the absolute basics for that kind of environment.
Wow. After summiting Everest?
Yeah. He basically said, what the hell was I doing up there? I should have never been up there. He recognized he lacked the core skills for where he found himself.
And the corporate parallel is leaders who might be in way over their heads.
Exactly. We see it, don't we? Leaders promoted quickly who seem visibly unsuited. They lack the deep functional knowledge or maybe the nuanced people skills needed.
And maybe they don't even see it themselves.
Often, yeah. They might just feel stressed, overwhelmed, blame the job, but not recognize it's a gap in their own preparation, their own skill set. A dangerous blind spot, really.
So if this rapid rise is the issue, how does it happen so often? Ola has this controversial idea about corporations being like guided tours.
Right. It's a strong comparison. She says,
Yeah.
look, 20 years ago, climbing Everest was for the elite, the super experienced.
Mhm.
Now, it's often closer to a guided tour. You have Sherpas, porters, guides handling food, water, oxygen, tents, ropes.
They manage the logistics, the survival aspects.
Pretty much. Ola puts it bluntly. Climbers just need to take their ass up there. And crucially, summiting is optional. Coming back is mandatory. The system prioritizes getting you up and down safely, regardless of your deep personal skill level.
Okay, I see where this is going. Large companies, they function like that.
In many ways, yes. Ola argues that large corporations can be guided tours to VP, even CEO roles. The whole structure, the processes, the bureaucracy, the support staff, the layers of approval.
It cushions the individual.
Exactly. It's designed to prevent catastrophic individual errors. She even says it's really stupid to fail in large corporations because the system itself is so robust, so protective, it kind of carries you along.
But the consequence of being carried, being guided,
is that you don't necessarily develop those critical skills yourself. The strategic thinking, the detailed planning, the technical depth, the survival instincts for when things go wrong.
Because you never had to. The system solved it or prevented the problem in the first place.
Right, so you can absolutely arrive at a very senior position without the deep technical competence or the emotional maturity or the mental resilience to truly lead effectively on your own.
It's like the system got you there. It was the system's win, not necessarily yours based on pure capability.
And that's often where the trouble starts. When the guidance thins out at the very top, you're suddenly exposed, maybe without the tools you fundamentally need.
Which sounds like a direct path to what she calls career altitude sickness. Where does that term come from?
She borrows it from the entertainment world, actually. Music, film. You see young stars shoot up incredibly fast.
Right, the child star phenomenon?
Yeah. They hit massive success at 18, 20, and then often just crash and burn very publicly. Think Lindsay Lohan, maybe Justin Bieber in his earlier days.
Okay, I get the analogy.
Right.
Rapid rise, spectacular fall.
And Ola connects this to the idea that our sense of accomplishment needs time. It needs to align with let's say, a sustainable rate of progress.
And it needs to be matched with emotional maturity.
Definitely. Emotional maturity, self-awareness. These things take time to develop. Without that balance, the rapid success creates this really fragile foundation. The pressure becomes unbearable.
And she sees this playing out in boardrooms, not just Hollywood.
Absolutely. She mentions seeing 25, 26-year-olds in senior leadership roles who just crash and burn.
Because they lack the skills or the maturity. Or both.
Often both. They might not have the technical leadership abilities, and they don't have the emotional or mental readiness for the sheer pressure and complexity of the role. It's a dangerous combination.
So she poses some pretty challenging questions then, doesn't she?
She does. Like, why isn't organizational psychology talking about this more, especially when burnout is such a huge topic?
Yeah.
And what about, as she puts it, speedy Gen Z? Are we pushing them too fast?
Are we setting them up for failure? Creating these corporate Justin Biebers?
Exactly. Individuals who reach the peak quickly but then fall hard because they just weren't ready, personally or professionally. It's a serious question for companies, for mentors, and for ambitious young people themselves.
Are you building real skills or just collecting titles faster than you can actually handle them?
That's the core of it, which leads directly to her concept of the corporate death zone.
Right, back to the Everest metaphor. Above 8,000 meters, it's literally called the death zone.
An environment incompatible with human life for extended periods, your body starts shutting down.
And she argues senior corporate roles can become that, a death zone.
Yes. The higher you climb the corporate ladder, she says, often the uglier it gets, even if you are technically competent.
The environment itself might just be toxic or unsustainable for you personally.
Precisely. The pressure, the politics, the sheer workload. It might just not align with your personality, your values, your need for work-life balance. And that leads to the severe burnout, the stress, anxiety, depression, insomnia.
All the symptoms of being in an environment that's fundamentally wrong for you. It's not just about capability, it's about compatibility.
Exactly. Can your mind and body actually sustain this environment long-term?
So why on earth do people stay in these death zones if it's so clearly damaging? Ego, money.
Those are big parts of it, definitely. Ego, prestige, the big paycheck, the corner office. They're powerful lures.
But it sounds like Ola thinks it's deeper than that.
Yeah, she talks about this psychological trap. It's partly sunk cost. I worked so hard to get here, I can't possibly go back down now.
Feels like failure.
Right. But it's also about identity. Your sense of self gets so tangled up with the title, the status, the money, that leaving feels like, well, like a kind of death itself, a death of the identity you've built.
So you cling on, even if it's metaphorically or sometimes tragically, almost literally killing you through stress and burnout.
She says people would rather die than let go of the position. They feel completely trapped by the perceived loss of status and identity.
Which is just tragic. And it ignores that basic mountaineering rule.
If you get altitude sickness, you descend. Immediately. Staying put risks everything for you and your team.
So in the corporate sense, if you're burning out, if you're in that mental health death zone,
staying isn't helping anyone. Not you, not your colleagues, not the organization. It's okay to go back down, to retreat and recover. Hanging on is often the worst thing you can do.
That's such crucial advice. Which brings us to the solution she proposes, drawing again from climbing. Acclimatization.
Ah, yes. The least favorite part for most climbers. hanging out at the same camp for days, climbing high, then coming back down.
It feels like you're not making progress, right? It's frustrating.
Super frustrating,
Yeah.
but absolutely essential for your body to adapt, to survive higher up. It prevents altitude sickness.
But in corporations, there's no Sherpa forcing you to acclimatize your career.
Generally, no. There's rarely a system saying, okay, you got promoted, now pause. Consolidate. Learn deeply in this role for a couple of years before you even think about the next one.
Instead, the pressure is often the opposite. Keep climbing, keep moving up, faster, faster.
Exactly. Ambition, external rewards, peer pressure. It all pushes you to skip that crucial acclimatization phase. You rush past the point of consolidating your skills and maturity.
So Ola suggests we need different strategies for our careers, not just this default rush to the top. What are they?
She lays out 3 alternatives. First, the slow and steady approach.
Okay.
This is about taking real stock. What are your goals, your ambitions, and your current capabilities? And then aiming for, say, a director or VP role, but over a much longer time frame, maybe 40 years.
40 years, it sounds long.
It is compared to the rush, but
Yeah.
the idea is to build a stable, sustainable, truly fulfilling career. You grow into each role, you mature, you gain deep competence. It prioritizes depth over speed.
Okay, makes sense. What's the second one?
Second is fast for finance, then exit.
Right. So if money is the main driver,
Then yeah, go for it. Climb fast, get to those top-paying senior roles as quickly as you can. But, and this is key, be fully prepared to get the hell back down.
before you burn out completely.
Exactly. Treat it like a specific mission. Get the financial reward, gain the experience, but then consciously step away before it destroys you or you stagnate. It's a tactical choice, not getting trapped.
Interesting. And the third?
The third is the learner's journey. This is for people who really thrive on learning new things, on variety.
Okay.
The idea here is to plan for maybe 2 or 3 distinct careers over your working life. You might have fast phases, slow phases. You might pivot completely.
So if you fall or leave one path, it's not failure.
Not at all. It's just the start of climbing a new, massive learning mountain. It reframes the whole journey around continuous growth and discovery, not just reaching one single peak.
These all sound like much healthier alternatives, but they require...
Deep self-awareness. That's the absolute foundation Ola stresses. You have to understand your own motivations.
Why are you climbing? Is it for the title? For external validation?
For self-esteem. Because if it's just for those things, she warns, you often end up like the fallen actors, musicians, burned out corporate folks, and dead climbers. It's about aligning your climb with who you truly are and what genuinely supports your well-being.
And her core message seems to be one of empowerment, really. You can choose a different path.
Absolutely. You can always go back down. You can learn more. You can climb a different mountain later. The position, the company, they'll likely still be there.
Don't sacrifice yourself by staying in your personal death zone.
That's the bottom line. Protect your health, protect your sanity.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, we've explored Ola's powerful metaphors: the corporate death zone, career altitude sickness.
We've seen how rushing up the ladder without the right skills and maturity can be incredibly dangerous.
And how big companies might inadvertently act as guided tours, shielding us from the very experiences we need to truly develop resilience and capability.
And that those senior roles, the summit, can sometimes become a death zone, an environment that's just not sustainable for our mental or physical health.
I think that quote from Ola really sums it up. Rushing is not living. Rushing is pushing through life.
Yeah, rushing with your career is looking at it as a task that you must tick off. There is no joy in rushing, only burnout and misery.
And maybe even more profoundly, life isn't about getting somewhere. It's about being here.
Being present in the journey.
So the final thought we want to leave you with is this. Are you truly present in your career journey? Are you building the foundations, acclimatizing? Or are you rushing toward a summit you might one day deeply regret reaching?
Take a moment, seriously reflect. Could you be in your corporate death zone right now?
Is it maybe time to slow down, to reevaluate, perhaps even to descend and find a different, more fulfilling mountain to climb? Remember, your career is a long expedition, not just a sprint to the highest point.